everyone, and welcome to sayreportjr. I am one of your hosts, Dayle Decker.
And I'm the other host, Zach Sarowik.
Woohoo!
Yay.
That
See,
was
this
pretty
always
good.
goes easier when you start because you're the one that presses the
Yeah,
button.
I know.
That's the
I
thing.
know when it's going to start, and yeah, I have all the control. It's really, it works out. But yeah, so I feel like it's been a very. I mean, we're just gonna get right into this. We're not gonna pull anything. There's no funny business right now.
Nope, there's yes, nothing funny. This is an entirely serious episode in which we're going to probably talk about Pokemon in a very serious way
Yes,
again.
I
We
feel
always
like
do.
yeah, it always comes to that. I feel like that is going to be the brunt of the episode.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, before we get into the fun, how was your week? Because I know
Uh,
mine was a little crazy.
I mean, my week's been fine. I haven't done too much. I mean, I actually spent about 4 days cat sitting. So, like, it was like a 4 day vacation, even though I still had to, like, drive back into town to go to work. But there's like a set of these like houses and farms and stuff just outside of town that old retired really rich people have and they
That's
always need
nice.
people to pet sit for them. So
Well, there you go.
so this couple got in touch with me. They needed someone to cat sit, which cat sitting is probably the easiest thing to do on the planet
Yep.
because it's basically go sit in my house for 4 days and you might see a cat. Spoiler alert, I saw the cat for 5 minutes out of these 4 days.
Really,
Yes.
that's kind of great.
So, but I go to meet the couple first, obviously. I'm not just going to show up to the house. So, go to meet them a couple of days before they leave town. And this is the first time I'm meeting these people. And it took all of 5 minutes to show me how to feed the cat. Like, oh, this much food in the morning, this much at night. Cool. Now, for 20 minutes, I'm going to show you around my house. And we're going to show you all the different rooms to the house, even though you're not going to go in most of them. And then I'm going to point out where all of our booze is so you can have whatever you
Oh,
want.
free booze?
Like, I'm just
They
like
gave
standing
you
in the
free reign of the
like,
booze
basically,
cabinet?
they gave me free reign of like everything. We
That's
started in their
great.
kitchen, and they're like, "Okay, so here's all the pots and pans. Feel free to make yourself some dinner. You don't have to worry about replacing the food, but here's what's in the refrigerator, and here's what's in the freezer. Oh, and here's some vodka if you want to get into that." I was like, "Oh, okay, sure, sure."
You know what the
And then
worst? Like, you never do. You never take advantage of it. At least every time I've house sat or I've like done it for a day or whatever, and people are like, "Oh, you can use the pool. You can if you want to sleep over, sleep over." It's like I've never done it.
it's like I don't want you to even know I was in your house. Are you kidding me?
Exactly.
But then we turn around and we go like right from the kitchen into the dining room, which I mean it's all open floor plan because again, gorgeous house.
Eh,
To which I say that I say you have a beautiful home, and their answer was, "Oh, it's small and it's old. The place looked like it was built 10 years ago,
wow.
like,
Wow.
or at least renovated 10 years ago."
Well,
But
that's rich people for you.
yeah, we walk into the dining room, and it's just like, okay, well, you know, again, dining room. Here's the table and chairs basically, and then points to a cabinet and goes, "Oh, and there's some, scotch and other liquor under there if you want to have some of that." So this is now room number two where they have pointed out alcohol to me as I'm walking.
That's
And then like
awesome.
as we're leaving to look at the other, three rooms of the house, it's, "Oh yeah, there's like beer in that fridge too if you want some of that." It's like, do you
Wow.
just want me to drink you out of house and home? Like, what is this? I don't um
Did you take some?
I had a little bit. I mean, I
Good
had
there.
like two drinks the whole weekend because again, I was like, yeah, because
I
at
don't
some
want
point
to.
it started to feel like I would be wrong to not drink the amount that they were like pointing out
Yeah.
everything in the house where they're
That
just
makes sense
like
though. Yeah.
it's like they were there and like putting a drink in front of me and I was refusing it if I didn't take it.
Yeah.
So yes, I
It's
had a
almost
couple of drinks.
it's almost like they bought too much and were like, we need to get rid of this shit.
Yeah.
Hey, you
So
want some free booze? Like,
So that all goes great, and then she introduces me to her husband, who I had no idea was even there because he was out in like his workshop in the shed the whole time.
oh my
So I had no
god.
idea this guy was even around. And she goes out to introduce me, and I want to be clear because I'm saying this out of love. I loved these people; they were great. This guy was like a living cartoon character of an
That's
old
awesome.
man in the best way, because I go to shake his hand and meet him, and what comes out of his mouth is, "Oh yeah, thank you very much for doing this. Okay, okay, it's gonna be great. We can talk to cat." Blah, blah, blah." Literally, that's what I heard. it took me like 10 minutes every time the guy spoke to parse what
That's
had come out
awesome.
of his mouth.
That's awesome.
And oh
That's
man, it
nice.
was great. And they were so nice and they were so sweet. And like them again, they gave me like free reign of their house for 4 days and this beautiful part of the area. That was great.
That's awesome.
And like I said, I saw the cat for all of 5 minutes in all of this because it just sat under one of the beds and just screamed every now and then because it was like it became like a weird game where I'd be sitting in the kitchen doing something and then I'd hear the cat. I'd go over like what the hell's going on? And then the cat would stare at me from under the bed and just go meow. Like what? What do you want?
Oh.
So that was pretty much my weekend. I did so again. We're gonna get into the Pokemon stuff later, like what I
Yes.
did
Yeah.
while I was in his house for 4 days. But that was pretty much it. And otherwise, I've best been, working. So, what has your week been like? Sorry, there's a
Oh.
siren going by my house.
Oh, I can hear it. Oh, that's interesting. What's happening near your house?
I really don't know.
Ooh, it's a mystery.
Oh, there they go. Okay.
Yeah, okay. I definitely heard it. You said it, and I was like, "Whoa, that's what's going on?" Anyways, you guys got to hear some sirens. That's fun. Anyways, so yeah, my week has
They
been.
heard me. They heard that I had the booze. Oh no! Run! It was all a scam.
Get him. Anyways, so my week has been interesting, to say the least. So it started out on Thursday. I believe it was Thursday. Me and my friend who she's been my friend since like middle school, like 7th grade, 8th grade. So we've known each other for a while. We went to Newport together, because she's going back to school in Vermont, in August. So we're trying to like soak up as much summer things that we can do, in Rhode Island to like get her fix. So
Right.
we went to Newport. We walked around. Newport's always fun, even if like you literally just walk around. I don't know, for me, especially downtown Newport, where there's like the dwarf and all the dwarf and all that stuff. It's really nice. But so we went there and we got there and we walk around for a little bit. Both of us had to go to the bathroom, so we snuck into Starbucks and used their bathroom. Not sure if we were supposed to. Not sure if it was like a buy, whatever. But then we went to lunch at this restaurant, this local little restaurant. And we're sitting there. We're sitting in the bar. They're like, the tables that come off of the wall that have bar seats, but they're not. But you're not at the
Right.
bar, but you're still in the bar. So we were sitting at one of those, and we're eating our food, talking, and having a good time. And all of a sudden, behind her back was towards the bar, and I was facing the bar. Behind her, I don't know. All I saw was a chair fall to the ground, and then there was a person on the ground.
Oh jeez.
And I was like, what? What just happened? And I look, and it is an older woman, like 70s, 80s. I'm really bad with age, guessing people's age. But it was an older woman, and she was just passed out on the ground. And I look at my friend, and I was like, a woman just passed out behind you. And I feel bad saying this with a smile on my face, but it was just so crazy. Like, I've never seen that kind of thing really in person. I mean, like, smaller, I don't know. But so it happens, and everybody, now, this restaurant is not big. You can't, the amount of people that were hovering around this poor woman was
Right.
ridiculous. There was like 20 people, and there was barely room for 3. So it's like, this is awful. We can't do anything because we're stuck at our table. And my friend's like, should I move to the other side? And I'm like, I don't think you can. I think
Yeah.
you're literally stuck. And she was like trying to get out of the way. It was just very awkward, and we did not know. And we kept talking, and it's like, I feel bad because like we were laughing about what we were talking about while there's a woman on the ground, but there was nothing we could do because someone had already called 911. All this stuff, and our food was still there. I felt so bad. And all of a sudden, now there are EMTs coming behind me with a stretcher. It was something out of a movie. I felt like I was inside of a movie. But the saddest thing and the craziest thing for me was her husband, like, could not there was a guy, just like a customer or whatever, trying to find out about her like health conditions, and her husband could not answer them, and I just felt so bad because it's like
Just was he
that.
just confused, or was
I
it that
don't.
he didn't speak
No,
English?
no, no.
Like,
I think he just didn't know. He spoke English. They were both like, it was just he wasn't sure of what medication she was
right.
on, or if she had high blood pressure or what. But she eventually like came to and was talking to she was talking to the EMTs and to the people and like saying, this is what I have, blah blah blah, like I'm kind of okay. But like she hit her head hard,
Yeah.
and it was like really scary, but it felt like I was in a movie, and I had no control over the situation whatsoever. Like, in those situations, you want to help, but
As
once
evidenced by the 20 people that shoved their ways in to at least see
exactly,
what was
but
happening, if
like
not help.
it's
Yeah.
crazy. Like I'm sitting there, like I want to help this woman, but I can't because that's just one more body that is unneeded in this situation, you know? So it's like you feel bad that you're like kind of, I'm just sitting there continuing to eat my Reuben sandwich like nothing happened, but it's almost kind of what you have to do.
Right. I mean,
Like
sometimes the best thing to do in that situation is to not be another person in the way while the
exactly.
people who know what they're doing can get in there.
Exactly. So and you've been to Newport, right? I mean, at some point.
Yes.
Okay, so it's, you know where Ryan's Amusement is?
Vaguely.
Vaguely. Okay.
Yeah.
So the restaurant we were on is on a narrow street. It is a one-way street, very narrow. It's still like cobblestone roads, and like a fire truck came, and it was like impressive how fast they got there. I mean, it's Newport. It's small, and the fire department is right there, right across, pretty much right across the street from the restaurant. But it was like they got down this small little narrow road to help this. Like, it was impressive. It was very nice. But I was like, I don't know what to do. I feel so awkward. I feel like I'm just in the way. But yeah, it was crazy. And then we got ice cream. So
It was crazy, but then we got ice cream.
I mean, she was fine. She was on the stretcher and she was talking. So, it was good. Needed some Ben and Jerry's.
Oh man.
So that was Thursday. Friday.
That was day one.
That was day one. Friday we went and saw Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, which that movie was fantastic. Well, fantastic is a strong word. It was really fun. It was a very, very fun movie. As much as you would see, as much you would think you would get from
out of a second Mamma Mia
yes,
musical.
exactly.
Or Mamma Mia ABBA musical is
Yeah,
what I meant to say.
pretty much. But yeah, it was still fun. It did the songs that I wanted it to do. It did songs that I had no idea existed. So that was interesting. I got to learn some new ABBA songs, but it was really nice because it was nice seeing Donna as a young adventurous woman coming of age kind of thing. It was really nice, and it was fun to like watch her meet the three guys. I don't know how much of you know of Mamma Mia, but it was it was just nice to like see the past and have
believe me, my mother made sure I knew plenty about Mamma Mia. Played every Sunday when she started cleaning the house. That was how she woke up the house, was with the soundtrack to the musical. And then when the movie came out, there was no way we were not seeing that.
That's fantastic. That's great. Yeah, no, I mean, I love those songs. I really enjoy the first movie. But it was really nice, and the structure and the editing was beautifully done. Because the whole premise of the second movie is that Sophia? I don't remember.
Amanda Seyfried?
Yes. She is now, like, she's reopening the hotel. Donna is, spoilers for Mamma Mia 2, by the way. Donna is gone. She has passed on. And she in the trailers it says, she's pregnant. Amanda Seyfried is pregnant. Sophia, I think is her name, is Sophie. Her name is Sophie. She's pregnant, and so it's like this really nice timeline of like where Donna was as a young woman on this island compared to where Sophie is now on this island as a woman, like, and becoming a mother and doing it. Sophie's not on her own. She has all these people behind her, but Donna was also not alone. She didn't know who the father was, but she wasn't alone. So it was just like a really nice comparative story and structure, and it worked really well. But again, it's about as much as you would expect you're gonna get from an ABBA 2 musical.
Is there like, do you think that was like the original script for that, or do you think for some reason they couldn't get like Meryl Streep back and they had to like rewrite the whole?
I don't know.
Thing? I'm trying to figure out because it just seems weird that Meryl Streep wouldn't come back for that.
Well,
like
yeah.
by choice.
I mean,
so maybe that means it was the actual script. It just seems like a weird.
If you really want me to spoil the movie, like if you really don't care.
Oh, I don't.
Okay, so she does come back, but there's a trivia thing on IMDb where it says that all of her scenes were filmed in like a day or two.
Right.
Or it was like a ridiculously like short amount of time. So I don't know if it was her just being like, "Hey, I'm only going to come for these scenes," or
just even scheduling for like another movie or something.
Yeah. Or like it could also be like Meryl Streep being like, "Hey, it's okay that I'm not in this movie because of the story that you should tell,"
Right. Right.
So,
I mean, if the movie works, it works. I guess it really doesn't matter.
Exactly.
It was just like I just remember so much of the original Mamma Mia like push was that they had Meryl Streep in this amazing musical.
Exactly.
And then it was just like, for the for the sequel, like okay, sure.
It was weird, but it was good. I really enjoyed it. And then so I started a kickboxing class.
Yes, so you told me.
So that was crazy. Super intense. I still hurt. Yeah, I started it on Monday with a friend of mine. And it starts off with a run around the bags and then a 15-minute like intense workout. That feels like a half an hour. But it's like jumping squats and burpees and V-ups and bicycle crunches and all the like jumping lunges and mountain climbers. It's just like this is insane. This is insane. But it was really nice because it was our first time ever kickboxing, ever being in like a really intense like workout class. So the instructor was really good at modifying everything for us. So he was like, "Hey, I understand that you guys are going to be slower today. That is okay. Do this instead." And I still feel like I got a full body workout.
So
like
is it like a full class or is it smaller, like a smaller group? Like
yeah. So there was probably about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other people there, including us. Not including us. So there was about 8 total people. And then the instructor. But so it was a smaller class. It was also a night class. So take that with what you will. I'm going back tomorrow, but at 7 a.m. So we're gonna see the difference between the two.
None of this, not like so far. None of this sounds like for me. I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah. I'm
exhausted just hearing about it.
He said, you might experience some like nausea, and I thought I was gonna puke. Like I went to the bathroom and like just stood in there, and I'm like, no, I'm good. Okay, I'm good. I need to go back out there because I can't not exercise. Like I can't not be in this class. But I did think I was gonna puke, just because of how intense it was, and I haven't worked out in, I don't even know, 5-6 years. Like it's been a long time since I ever did like a really big, intense physical activity, which is another reason why I've started doing it. But it was super fun. I'm very happy with it. I'm not so excited for tomorrow because I'm still in pain, but I'm still gonna do it. you know. But yeah, the kickboxing was really fun. Really, really fun because it's just like you get to beat up on a bag the whole time. It's like, oh, I was stressed and now I'm not. This feels good. And then to round off my week, last night we were in a traffic collision.
Oh gosh.
Yep.
Oh
Last
dear.
night we were trying. It was me, Devin, and our mom. My mom was driving. We were in my car because my parents' car is in the shop for something that is my fault. But you know, we can move past that. We don't have to
breeze
discuss
right
that.
past that one.
We don't have to discuss that. Pretty much, I put my feet under my mom's chair. I put my feet under the driver's chair. I disconnected some wires. It's all good. We're fine. Bad design choice. Moving on. So we were in my car, and my mom was driving, and we were trying to go see The Sandlot, because it was in the theater again for its anniversary, and we're going, and we were like maybe 100 feet from the movie theater. Like you could see where we had to go. We were getting off the ramp, and there was a stoplight, and we were stopped, and all of a sudden there was just this boom right into the back of us, and then a pop.
Oh man.
And I didn't know what the hell just happened. I was like, did we just get hit or something? And then I turned around, and Devin was like, yeah. And then I turned around.
Were you in the back seat for this?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, I was in the back seat. So, like, I went forward and back, like, super hard. Like, my mom did, my brother did. And I looked behind me, and my back windshield is just shattered. Like, completely, glass is all over the place. It was behind my back. Like, it thankfully didn't get on me. So everybody is good. We're all safe and good, and no one got hurt, so that is the good thing. But yeah, it was the first accident I've ever been in, and it was fucking scary.
And you're on especially being the one getting hit for that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It was.
Sucks.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was a crazy way to round out the week before recording again. So I don't have a car right now, and we're waiting to see what happens. But yeah, it was first of all, like, it happened so quick. I never realized how quick an accident can occur, but Jesus, it can happen that quickly.
Oh yeah.
And then the amount of emotions I went through in like a period of a minute was scary too. 'Cause I was scared, I was angry, I was sad, I was just like nervous, anxious. Like it was all these emotions that like just came up, and I just started bawling, and I was like, this is great. And I felt bad too. The guy who hit us was like just so apologetic, and like he wasn't drunk, he wasn't texting, like he just wasn't looking forward. So
that is exactly how I got into my first accident when I was like 18. I did the same stupid thing. I had like come out of a gas station, and I like looked down to like turn something on my iPod, and when I looked up, like in a span of 30 seconds, when I looked up, the guy in front of me had stopped to take a corner, and I hit the brakes, so I probably hit the guy going maybe 15 miles an hour, but that was from 30 miles an hour. But like it just was like you just didn't hurt. Like I looked down, I looked up, and all of a sudden I'm slamming on the brakes, and I'm like, oh, and I could hit the guy, and I felt, oh, you feel so crappy when it's something that stupid that does it.
And like your stomach just like does, I don't even know what, and it's just like, what, like for a moment you're just like, what just happened? Like I was in the back seat, like I literally asked the question, did we just get hit? Like it didn't process in my brain.
Yeah, your brain is not gonna, doesn't take it all in all of a sudden.
Yeah, it was just scary. So just PSA, please be safe while driving. Like I have no idea how fast the guy was going, but he was coming off of a highway,
coming off the
It
highway
was
toward
towards a
a
red
light of
light.
some kind. So
Yeah.
he was probably at least somewhat on the brakes.
Yeah.
But
But it was enough to shatter my back window. So, I don't know. It was crazy. And then I got to ride in a cop car, which is equally as weird and
oh
and
yeah,
and strange because yeah, we were like right near the Swansea Mall or whatever, and we so we were like, if you can just drop us off there, that'd be great. My friend who I do kickboxing with picked us up, and it was just, but I'm in the backseat of that cop car. And the only other time I've been in a cop car was in elementary school when they taught us what the back of a cop car looked like. Which was weird, like to think of that they showed elementary school kids that. Like they were like,
yeah.
get in the back seat, try to get out.
Get scared. Get
Like,
scared.
Yeah, it was weird. But so I get in there, it was like one of the SUV ones, and it's just like that. It's one seat, which when I was a kid, the one that they showed us was the entire back seat was the back seat was just the back seat. But in the SUV one, it's like just one seat and then glass. And then on the other side,
That's like the thing that's like for when you're like super freaked out on some sort of drug and they don't want
Yes.
you like breaking stuff. They
Yeah.
brought that to a car accident.
yes, there were like 3 cops that showed up, which like that was nice. But yeah, and there's like a piece of glass, or like it was like heavy duty, maybe it could have been bulletproof. I have no idea, but it was like glass to the left of me, and then the seat in front of me, and then the another piece of glass, and then bars on the window, and then I think there was glass behind me too. But like in the back seat, it was crazy. There was guns next to me. I'm like, this is insane, and like, man, like they literally have to be prepared for any situation. And it's like that's
Right, they have to be just as likely aware of like they're going to show up and the guy that hit you is now like attacking you after like they have to be prepared for all
It's
of these
crazy.
possibilities.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Or like as they're driving us to the Swansea Mall, dropping us off, they get a call and they're like, "We need to go." Like, it's crazy. It was insane. But so a very eventful night, and then we went to Ruby Tuesdays and had drinks while we cooled down before my friend picked us up. Which
and then we had ice cream, which is the way that every story
should end. But so we walk into Ruby Tuesdays because my car had to get towed, right? You can't drive with the window just open,
Right.
on the highway and stuff with glass flying everywhere.
Right.
So they were like, if you want anything out of your car, you gotta grab it. So we had a WB Mason box. We filled the WB Mason box, and then we had to like walk into Ruby Tuesdays with this box of just crap.
God.
And like people were looking at us, and it's like, listen, if you want to judge me, you can go. You can just leave because
You have now so when you pair all of these stories with your movie theater story from a couple of weeks ago now, you are living like you're just living a sitcom at this point.
right. I mean, I always feel like I'm living a sitcom, but like this has been evident of it.
Like every day you've been.
It's been craziness. Yeah. Yep. It's been great. It's been
This
great.
is like nice, beautiful, weird Seinfeldian sitcom
Yeah.
too, where it's like the entire episode is you stuck at your table and you can't move because there's all of these people around this woman that passed out.
Yep. It's crazy.
Oh
It
man.
was crazy. And we like kept talking. Like the worst part about that is that we just kept talking about life.
Exactly,
like,
which is like
our-
the ultimate,
like,
which is like
what-
the ultimate Seinfeld episode, is that you're sitting there and going, "We're gonna eat that. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
grab a little bit of this."
Exactly. I was just like, I feel like I felt like I was in a movie, but a sitcom is a way better definition of what it felt
It's
like.
like,
Jeez. Yeah. It was great. So, but I mean, it was a good week. I
man.
mean, it was an eventful week. So
yes,
we'll
and
see what the
and
next
like you
week
said,
has.
everybody's alive.
Everybody
and
is
safe
good and safe, and we're
okay.
good. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so on
Uh,
to Pokemon Revolution.
Yeah.
Segues are
so
fun.
we don't have any good way to segue to this except this is the other thing that we've been doing in the background for like 3 weeks now.
Which I haven't
have-
I haven't played in a while. I've been playing more Kirby, which I do have stories of Kirby. Because from like 2 weeks ago that I've wanted to tell you.
I haven't played it.
The
I've barely played it in
fuckery.
like a few days because of the Nuzlocke run stuff too. So
Yeah, I know. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you. before we get into Pokemon Revolution, because I forgot that you had Nuzlocke stuff to talk about and that I had Kirby stuff to talk about, we're gonna do that.
Okay.
So my Kirby thing is very short, but I talked about how there's a boss run, right?
Yes.
So I was playing as Marks, who is a character from older Kirby games that I don't really know, but he's great and he's super broken for boss runs because he can fly infinitely unless he gets hit, but he can fly infinitely and just throw like bouncy ball bombs down from where he
jeez.
is. So if you don't get hit, you're fine. So that I'm like, he's the only person for this boss run. So I'm like, okay, here we go. So I'm doing it and I'm doing it. I'm doing it on the hardest difficulty. So it's 13 bosses and you only get 6 health packs. And they only restore a little bit of your health. So I was like, I need to do math, which I had Devin help me with, like when can I use a health pack? I knew what bosses I didn't have a problem with and what ones I did. So it was fine. So it took me maybe like, I don't even know how many tries to do this, but I finally beat it and I was like, oh, I felt so good. So good. I was so happy. And then it goes to the credits. It's like all this good stuff. It's like, hey, high score, blah, blah, blah. And then a harder difficulty unlocked. And I was like, fuck you,
man.
Kirby.
It's games these days. They don't want you to stop playing.
And I was just like, and it's a mystery boss one.
So they're just throwing stuff at you without like.
So,
is it randomized every time you do it?
no, it's this.
Keep it that way?
So all the times that I've attempted it, it's been the same. It's like you don't know how many bosses you're gonna fight, and you don't know how many puzzle pieces you're gonna get. Every time I've tried this, it's been like 13 question mark. So I'm like, oh, 13. Okay, where is this randomized thing? It's still just the thing that I just did, but harder, I guess? I don't know. So this past weekend, or this past whatever week, this was also part of my week, was I was trying to do it. I finally got to the very final boss, and I was about to kill him, and then I died. And I was like,
God.
this is some awful luck in this game right now. But yeah, I still love it, and I'm excited for Wave 2 on Friday because they're putting in 3 new like villain.
Oh, that's right, because they're adding new
friends.
stuff to the.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited. So I'll probably be talking more about that. But I want to hear about your Nuzlocke and your ridiculousness of your Pikachu and all of this great stuff.
Yeah, so this all started with the Pokemon Revolution stuff. I've played more Pokemon in the last like 3 weeks than I have in the past like 2 years,
3
and that
years?
includes having played Pokemon Sun recently. But 2 or 3 weeks ago is when you messaged me and were like, "Hey, there's an online Pokemon game that we're going to play now." And so, sure enough, we load up this Pokemon Revolution Online, which I don't know how this thing exists and that Nintendo or
Nope.
Niantic or whatever company owns Pokemon now has not shut it down.
Yeah, it's crazy how similar it is to.
It's
it's basically the game.
I mean, yeah. So what they essentially did was they took the first 3 generations of Pokemon, and they have all 3 of those areas in the game. It's just that they start you off in Kanto from Generation 1, and then I think what happens is instead of Victory Road opening at the end of that, it actually
Opens up to the other regions.
It opens up to the next.
Yeah.
It opens up to Gen 2.
Yeah.
So we've been playing that off and on. We played together that first day, and we haven't really been able to make it work since. But
No.
it's not like super interactive. It's basically playing Pokemon with 1,000 people running around you, also playing Pokemon.
Yeah, and I don't think there's no way to interact with people unless you do PvP. Which like I'm not gonna do PvP.
Right, there's like chatting, and then there's fighting each other with Pokemon battles is what there seems to be.
Yeah.
But playing that so much got me reinterested in the Nuzlocke run stuff, which I had never done.
Oh.
And those of you out there who had never played, have no idea what that means. A Nuzlocke run of Pokemon is a special rule set that I don't know who created it. I'm assuming it was someone whose online name was Nuzlocke.
No, so it was based off a Because I, like a year ago, like before we started a podcast, I was like super, super into it. Because we were like doing Twitch streaming and whatnot. And I was watching people doing it. So I wanted to know where it came from. And it came from a web comic, I believe. Where the term,
Okay.
because it, and the term was like, it was connected to a Nuzleaf, the Pokemon
Ah,
Nuzleaf.
okay.
So it was connected to that in some way, and then it was just like someone created, like, you can, if you Google or look up like a Nuzleaf, not Nuzleaf, Nuzlocke, like original content or original comic or original rule set, anything like that, just like Nuzlocke original, you'll
Right.
find like this little comic strip, and then it explains the rules and stuff.
Right.
So, and it's
So
basically, yeah, it's
so
basically making the game more about friendship and connection than they really are.
right. So and by doing that, by like severely restricting the number of Pokemon you can catch.
Yes.
So in a typical Pokemon game, every you're constantly given these different attempts at catching Pokemon, and you can catch pretty much however many you want.
Yep.
You can only carry 6 with you at a time, but you can carry however many you want. And the idea of you're going to catch them all throughout the game, even though they always make 2 versions of the game that you could never get everything unless you either buy both or you connect
Trade.
with other
You have
people.
to
Yeah.
trade.
Well,
It's
they've
part
gotten
of
that.
the
The thing is,
world.
they've gotten much better at that. Like I was doing perfectly fine with like Pokemon Sun and getting everything because
Yeah.
they made the trade system and it's all online and
Well,
it's all really good. But the early days it was you had to find a human friend
yes,
in the real
exactly.
world to connect your 2 Game Boys together.
Can we also talk real quick about how in Sun and Moon you can get both legendaries
Uh-huh.
like
I
very
mean,
easily?
it's a game for kids.
It's
Let's all remember
great. No,
that.
I'm saying I love it. I love my little Crash and Nebby, which is what I named
So
them.
beautiful. So the Nuzlocke run, the kind of 2 official rules are that when you enter a new area, there are different routes in the game, which are the different roads,
Mhm.
as well as special areas like Mount Moon and the Rock Tunnel
Yep.
and Safari Zone and all of that stuff. When you enter a new area, you can only catch 1 Pokemon, and generally it has to be the first one you run into.
Yes.
I say generally because there's some sub rules that come later, but usually it's the first one you run into. There are
Yeah.
people that do Nuzlocke runs where their entire run is Pidgeys because
Yeah.
they stick to that rule so
Or
stringent.
or like someone who I used to, he did like a a bug lock. So he was
Only caught
only catching bug Pokemon.
God,
Um
that makes the game so hard. The other thing that you have to do is that if one of your Pokemon faints,
mhm.
you have to release it,
Or
which introduced the idea of permadeath, or
you,
leave it in the box and
y-
never use it.
yes, you don't have
But
to release it, but it makes it, I've never released a dead Pokemon.
the temptation is no longer there to use it.
Exactly.
I feel like if I left it in the box, I would forget what I was doing,
Mhm.
and I would, especially when I was playing one of the older games, and those systems are terrible
Yeah.
back then.
Oh yeah.
So like keeping all that organized was horrible. So my first experience with this was actually Griffin McElroy from Polygon did one last year, 2 years
Oh,
ago,
okay. I don't know who that
for
is, but
Pokemon
okay.
for Pokemon Y.
Uh-huh.
We'll talk about the McElroys someday because they are big podcasters and also their D&D comic just made #1 on the New York Times bestseller.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah.
Oh.
um,
You also have to mention that you have to name every Pokemon you catch.
oh yes, that's like an unspoken rule to it. But
Yes.
yes, that is an unspoken rule, is that you nickname every Pokemon you get so that you feel
Connected to them.
connected to them. Yeah. So all of this is
Yeah.
like it sounds like, oh, you're just making the game harder for yourself, but what it really is oh no, you have to deal with the Pokemon you have,
Mhm.
which means you have to connect with them in a
Yes.
way, and
In a certain way.
then feel really bad when they pass out.
Mhm.
So I had never even heard of this before I watched the one from Polygon, and then I had seen a couple of other people do it. And so playing Pokemon Revolution, I went, you know what? I've got Pokemon Yellow on DS. I should try this. That was a mistake. So the first thing I did was I named the characters after me and Dayle,
Yep.
which was great. Dayle was my rival in this game with her Eevee.
Yeah.
And so
Which,
I'm
that-
actually going to...
That text was great. Me being like, yeah, I'm your rival. Get ready. And I'm like, oh, but that means I'm a jerk. And you're like, yeah, but you get an Eevee. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm okay with this. And then
Yo,
like
and
2 seconds later, wait, doesn't that mean I abused the Eevee? And you were
actually,
like, no.
so replaying Yellow. I mean, the rival is a jerk to your
Yes,
character,
yeah.
but not to the Pokemon.
Good.
I mean, you might be thinking a lot of Jackson, the one from Pokemon
Oh,
Revolution,
fucking
is definitely a
Jackson.
terrible rival. But
Fucking hit.
no, this the rival from the original game is just a jerk to you. But
Yeah.
he's just like, oh, my Pokemon are great and stronger than yours. He never says anything about like mistreating them in any
Oh,
way.
okay, good. Good. Then I'm
Even
okay
when you
with-
beat him, because even when you beat him, he's just like, oh man, now I have to make him stronger. I'm gonna get you next time though, and he
Yeah.
runs away. Like
Yeah.
he.
But I do have an Eevee, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So the short answer to this is I did not make it through Pokemon Yellow. I got to the third town and ran into Dayle, and Dayle kicked my ass because I wasn't thinking.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I was about to run into her, and so my Pokemon were not in shape for that. And you ran right through them all and knocked them out. So what I actually did, and I haven't told you this part yet, was that I actually loaded up. I used to own Pokemon Leaf Green like years ago for Game Boy Advance, so I got a version of that for my PC that I'm not going to get into details about, but I owned it once, so I don't feel bad. So I've actually been redoing the Nuzlocke run from that, and I'm actually
Nice,
still
okay.
going with
That's
that
good.
one. I got
That's
past
very
that
good.
fight because I knew it was coming. I have lost a few people, but it's this really weird and interesting way to play a game that's now 20 years old that
Yeah.
I have not played this intently or with this much thought, because just like you were saying about doing the math in Kirby to figure it out, like it forces you to be like, okay, which move is going to go first? Which move is going to go do the most damage? Which types do I need to have?
Who's my fastest Pokemon? Like
Yeah.
all this stuff. Yeah.
I hit a situation where I had to stop for 2 minutes and realize that I've got 6 Pokemon, none of which can learn one of the special moves to get me through an area. Like there's a strong possibility, especially in those early games, that you could knock out any Pokemon that can learn Cut, and now you can't get through any of the little branches that are blocking your path.
Yep.
Or the situation I hit was I don't have a Pokemon that can learn Flash, so I had to load up a map of the Rock Tunnel because otherwise I never would have known where I was going.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it's really cool. It gives more life to these games too, because like what I've learned is that you can play Pokemon in any way you want, and I never realized that before learning about the Nuzlocke. Like you can do a bug lock, you can do a water lock. Like it's just like these cool little things. Like I've been thinking about I want to do a what's it called? Like an all dog lock.
Oh God.
Or like all frogs, or all amphibians.
All birds, because there's like
all
8
birds.
of them.
Exactly. Like it's just, it's a way to make the game harder, but it's, it gives it more life and more leg. Also, we should mention that the way that you lose a Nuzlocke is you black out all 6 of your Pokemon, or if you only have one Pokemon, your one Pokemon dies.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. I had to restart that Pokemon Yellow Nuzlocke like 4 times because I couldn't get past the first opening fight.
But I told you, but you saw what I
know,
said, right?
I know,
The
but I was, like, so
Nuzlocke officially begins when you get your first Pokeballs.
I know. I was just so adamant that I was going to beat
do
you
it.
at some.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, at this point it's just silly. Now I need to win. So
it's the principle of the matter.
And then I lost it. So look at that.
Yeah. No, I've had some of my own Nuzlocke nightmares, and I haven't attempted one yet since then. But I had a notebook where I was writing down. I was listing stuff, and I think one of the shortest one I had was 15 minutes long. Another one was a half an hour. Another one was an hour. That was how far into the games I got. And I was like, this is stupid. One of them was on stream where I was streaming and I didn't save. I was playing Sapphire. And I was going through and I got to this kid who had a freaking Celebi as his Pokemon. He was like a bug because I was also doing
Oh God,
randomized.
losing to
I
a
was
bug.
doing so
Oh, losing to a bug.
I was doing randomized Nuzlocke. So my team at the time was like Trapinch, an Apom, a Quilava, I don't remember the other ones, but like that was my team, and freaking a legendary Pokemon this 9-year-old kid has. And I'm like, this is great. And then the game crashed.
Oh God.
And I was like, I did not save anything. And I was like, well guys, I hope you enjoyed watching the stream. Have a good night, everybody. And I just like ended the stream.
Yeah, that's
like,
been a
this
challenge.
sucks.
That's been a challenge with playing the Leaf Green on my laptop. Is the program I'm using to do that? If you hit escape, X is out.
Yep.
Escape is also generally the pause button on PC games, and so I sometimes forget
Oh.
that the start button is mapped to enter,
Yep.
and so like I'm like, oh, okay, I need to pause this for 2 seconds and hit escape, and it shuts down, and I'm like, crap, where was I?
Yeah, it sucks. It's fun though. I mean, yeah.
But yeah, it's been this really nice, like, interesting way to like restart my love of that game, because like you said, you can play it any way you want, and that is largely because for 7 generations of that game now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it hasn't really changed.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah,
like
no,
even
it's the same
Sun and
structure.
Moon were hailed with this whole idea of like, oh, there's no gyms, it's going to be like a whole new game, and it's like, no, it's the same game, they just swapped out the gyms for different boss battles.
Exactly.
Like otherwise you're still doing gyms.
Yep.
So like
Yeah.
so like the game series has not changed for 25 years, I think it is. Which is another reason why, I mean, as simplified and different as it's going to be, I really like the concept of Let's Go, just to play Pokemon in a
Yes.
different way for for a little bit. So
That isn't Pokemon Go, because I've mentioned, I like Pokemon Go, but I don't love it. Like
right,
it's not, it doesn't feel like a game. Like, I'm excited for Let's Go because it's gonna feel like a game.
right,
Exactly.
right.
Yeah. But
So
Pokemon
yeah, so I'm gonna
Revolution
yes,
was
so
ridiculous.
yeah, because so we get on there, and I cannot believe on Pokemon Revolution the amount of music that they have carried over, the sprites
Yeah.
that they have carried over.
It's
The
too
maps are
similar.
pretty much the same. Like
Yeah.
they're definitely like restructured a little bit
Mhm.
differently, but I mean the general layout is all pretty much the same.
And
Uh,
the crazy thing too is like, you can, I guess there are memberships that you can buy, and you can pay, like you can donate, and you can buy, like I said, the membership, and you can pay to buy mounts or buy costumes. So it's like they're also somehow making money off of it.
yeah, because they're
But
doing it selling like freaking Marvel costumes to
yes.
you. I talked to Thor the other day.
Yeah.
Like Deadpool has run past me
Yeah.
a few times.
Yeah. So it's like, it's kind of crazy, but like when you think about it, is the money truly going towards them? Like, are they just using it to then go out and like buy whatever the hell they want, or are they using the money for development, or paying the team? Which, like, but still, you're still making profit. Maybe, I mean, it could not be profit. If they're not making profit, I guess that's
Yeah, I mean that's the real question
the
behind
real
all of that is
question.
who's actually who or what team is actually developing this thing.
Exactly. But it's so, there's so many licensing things that could raise a huge issue.
So what we're saying is go out and play it now, because
Yes.
literally any day it could disappear.
Yeah, seriously. The only thing, you can't name the Pokemon. Makes me sad.
Yeah.
I don't usually name Pokemon. Nuzlocke
Well,
have got me into naming
to
Pokemon.
be fair, since we've started
but-
playing, they have spent every day trying to fix one move that has broken the game. So
I know.
I think their priorities are out there.
I'm like every day I get a random Discord notification. It's like, I'm not even paying attention. I just want to play the game.
We
like-
think we fixed Pursuit. Nope, sorry, we didn't fix Pursuit.
Yeah, like it's things that I would never notice because I don't know that much about the Pokemon moves. I just enjoy the world of Pokemon.
Yeah,
So-
there's just what the one move that keeps getting them is specifically if you are attacked by a wild Spearow.
Okay.
they at some level they learn this move called Pursuit, which is
Yes.
that
Oh,
like it's
yeah.
constantly hurting you, and so if you
Yes.
try to take your Pokemon out, it attacks them.
Mhm.
The problem was that if your Pokemon fainted and you tried to swap them out, it was still attacking your already fainted Pokemon, and it was
Oh.
interrupting
Oh
the game from allowing you to
shit.
swap out your Pokemon, which meant that you like if effectively if your Pokemon fainted during this attack, you could not you had to log out and
Oh
log back
god.
in
Oh
and list
wow.
because
Yeah,
you
I
just
didn't
weren't
know
yeah.
any of that.
Yeah,
Wow.
so that's what was so that's what's been so that's what they've been trying to fix for like at least the 3 weeks we've been playing. Is that
Crap.
you're like
Yeah.
we have no idea why this is doing this, but it's bugged the whole system. And they were like, don't teach your Pokemon this move because you're it'll happen if you're fighting other trainers, and also it happens when you're wildly attacked. And it's
Jeez.
like, oh god.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. That's a little
Uh,
bad. So yeah,
yeah,
they got some big priorities there.
yeah,
But no, it's I really enjoy it, and I like that it's my little sprite that I created. I love the Pokemon follow you. I love that.
yeah. Whoever's at the top of your list
Yep.
pops out, and I also
Yep.
love that most of them are tiny, 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 and then if you
Mhm.
swap in an Onyx, it's five
Oh,
times your size.
I love my Onyx. Oh, I love my Onyx so much. Yeah, because I have because I started with a Bulbasaur, obviously. If I could start with an Eevee, I would have. But anyways,
You try to catch one, and the guy kicks you in the face.
I know it's freaking Jackson. Anyways, we're not gonna talk about him. He's like Voldemort, okay? Uh. Anyways, he gets power. Anyways, so yeah, so I have a Bulbasaur and it evolved into Ivysaur, and it's still super tiny, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. It should
No,
be like a little bigger. But
oh
it's still
man.
adorable. Oh, the best was I caught a Caterpie and it evolved into Metapod. The best is having a Metapod follow you around. Because
Kind of bounces behind
it's
you.
like, you know, it's just bouncing or like being dragged or something. It's like, it's a Metapod. It don't do much. It's like a platypus. Except Metapod isn't a secret agent. But it could be!
Uh, do we ever figure out if there is a platypus Pokemon? Did we decide Psyduck was the closest, even though he's a duck?
I don't know if we ever talked
Can't
about
remember.
it, but yeah, I think Psyduck. Unfortunately, I think Psyduck is the closest. I want to
Only
play.
mostly by design more than anything.
You don't even know how badly I want a platypus Pokemon, and there were like fan leaks of what the
I'm looking-
starter Pokemon would be for like
I'm
Gen
like,
8.
I'm like looking up right now, and the first thing
And
that came up was Psyduck under platypus Pokemon.
But there was like a really nice fan drawn platypus starter, and he was just so cute. Brown little bill, and he was blue and just so adorable. And I want a platypus so bad. And it would be a water poison type because platypus have a poisonous barb on the back of their feet. Did you know that, Zach?
I did not.
Oh, yeah. I found that out, and then they brought it up in Phineas and Ferb, and it was fantastic. someone says to like Doofenshmirtz I'm sorry, I'm talking about Phineas and Ferb now, but
It's okay.
they're fighting. It's Doofenshmirtz and Perry. They're fighting, and it comes up that Perry has a poisonous barb, and the fight just stops. And Doofenshmirtz is like, "You didn't tell me you had a poisonous barb," and Perry just looks at him like, and then continues fighting. It's great. He's like, "I could have killed you at any time, Doofenshmirtz, but I didn't.
Remember this day
because you're my best friend." But
Oh
yeah, it's great.
man.
I want a platypus Pokemon so bad. Anyways, but yeah,
Everyone will name it Perry. There's no one that won't.
I will name it Bartholomew. Excuse me.
Okay.
No,
You thought of this.
that is no. Well, that's also a Phineas and Ferb joke. I know a lot about Phineas and Ferb. I know everything about Phineas and Ferb pretty much. I love Phineas and Ferb. I saw the live show with Devin.
Of course you did.
Yep. But before they named him Perry, they were gonna name him Bartholomew.
That's a Bartholomew. Why mule? Okay.
It's
Anyway.
just Bartholomew. Maybe I'm saying it weird. I say words weird, but it was Bartholomew. How do you say it?
You mean Bartholomew without an L at the end?
Oh,
Oh, I thought you were I thought they had specifically named it with mule at the end for some reason.
no, like Bartholomew. Bartholomew? Bartholomew. I don't know,
Well,
Zach.
okay, everybody, I broke Dayle.
What is the world? What is life?
Oh
Anyways,
man.
the best thing that has happened to me in Pokemon Revolution, this is like my last thing on it, I think, because I haven't been playing that much, except Mount Moon was a bitch to get through.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Well,
Oh
that's
my
the other
god.
thing. Oh my god,
Sorry.
The Jesse and James sprites. Guys,
Yeah.
come on.
Oh yeah, they just ripped off the
Ridiculous.
anime. They ripped off the game.
It looks amazing. The game is gorgeous. Like,
But
it is
but
very
someday
impressive.
a letter will show up in someone's mailbox.
Oh yeah. Oh, no doubt. But the best thing that's happened to me, there's that cave, right? There's that dark cave that you're supposed to know Flash before you go in there. Is that the rock
Right.
cave?
That's the rock temple.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So I did not know that. I was like, oh, look, a cave. I'm going to go in here. And I didn't really mean to. And I, like, started walking. I'm like, I'm lost. And I was lost in there for like a half an hour
Oh no!
to an
so
hour.
Are you talking about the one in the forest? 'Cause
Yeah.
That's actually I think just completely original to this. I've actually never seen that in a
it's
Pokemon
new,
game.
right?
Yeah.
So, and in that cave, there's a horsey. Have no freaking clue how I found that. I just did. And then there's like another lady in there where if you talk to her, she says, sorry, you haven't beaten the Elite Four yet. Come back again. So it's like,
Yeah.
I have to come back to this hell?
Well, I think the
What?
idea is that you will have Flash at that point,
Yes, exactly.
and also like they need you to have something to do at the end of the game.
Yeah. But so I got lost in there, and then I saw this kid running around, and he kept passing me. So eventually, I just started following him, and then like it seemed like he was trying to get away from me. I'm like, no, I'm staying with you. And then I eventually clicked on him and typed to him real fast. I was like, I need your help. Please just get me out of this cave. And he was like, yeah, no problem. Follow me. And then it was like a nice little moment where he just like directed me out of the cave. And I was like, thank you. He's like, yeah, just try not to get lost again. I'm like, yeah, I don't plan on going back in there anytime soon. And
Should have listened to Hiker Jeff standing outside telling you not to go in.
And then the next person I talked to was the kid who was like, a Team Rocket grunt took my Pidgey. Please help me. So I had to go back in the cave. And the piss of that, I'm being very vulgar, kind of.
Is that it's literally right around the first corner?
Next to you. It's right next to you. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I was stuck in this thing for almost an hour. Why? So yeah, that's been my Pokemon Revolution experience.
I mean, mine's been pretty much like I said, like I don't play a lot of MMOs at all.
Yeah. No.
But if I do, this is the way I like to play them, which is I don't actually talk to or interact with anybody. I just like the concept of playing a game that 1,000 other people are playing at the same time.
Yeah.
Like I used to play Minecraft a lot, and I used to get on public servers for that, where that people set up, and I never talked to anybody. I went as far away from other human beings as I could get to build my stuff, just so that every now and then someone would come by, see my house, and go, hey, that's cool. And I'd be like, cool, thanks. What's yours? Like, oh yeah, that's cool. And then we go our separate ways.
I do like those moments. Like it's those kind of online interactions where it's like, hey, nice job, thanks, peace out, kind of thing. Like
Right.
that happened on PS4 when the what's it called beta came out. Oh no. Oh, For Honor. When For Honor
Okay,
beta
yeah.
when that beta came out. So I was playing it, and I had no idea what I was doing. No clue. That game, there's like no direction. You kind of have to figure out for yourself. And there was a moment where I was doing like a 1v1 on someone after I had been playing it for a little while. And this person was like brand new, but I didn't know that because I didn't know how you could tell that. And all of a sudden, like, and I'm wailing on this person, like, just, and I don't know how. I don't know how I'm winning. And I'm like, this is insane. And all of a sudden, in the corner of the screen pops up a message saying, I'm new. And I was like, oh no, you poor little, I'm so sorry. And so I went to the chat and I was like, I'm new too. I honestly don't know what I'm doing. So
I
I'm
saw another
sorry.
person who started mashing buttons.
So I was like, so I'm sorry. And so like we had like a nice little chat. I think we even like friended each other because like I felt so bad. They friended me. And I was like, I feel bad. I need to accept this. And then, like, there was, like, another time it happened in Overwatch where this guy and I kept getting paired up in these 1v1 matches. And we were, like, going toe-to-toe. And all of it, like, and I was just like, I'm messaging him and being like, nice game. It's like, those little moments are nice where it's like, people aren't disgusting.
Yeah. And that of course, here's the other problem with that Minecraft strategy, though, is that sometimes you go back to your house and someone you didn't see has, So sometimes you're wailing on the person. Sometimes the person is wailing on you, and you type in "I'm new," and their answer is "Then die quicker." And then it's like,
no. Well, it's especially like I never liked Minecraft, and then like I heard about that, and I was like, I don't like that at all.
There are special servers that can get set up where that can't happen.
Yeah.
It's just really I have no idea how you program this stuff because people are way smarter than me, but they basically they set it up to give you a claim of land. And so it's like, here's this like 10 by 10 square of land where if you build stuff on it, the game has in the code knows that you were the one that put it there, which means that someone else cannot destroy the stuff you built.
That's good. That's
nice.
It's
this really interesting way that it works. Yeah. I really like it.
Well, it's like there was another game that came like Ark Survival, and people were like, oh yeah, people can attack your base while you're not even playing. And I'm like, nope, I'm not going anywhere near that then. Because why would I do that? Why would I ever want that? That's not fun.
No, it's really not.
That's not fun at all. But I don't know. It's been an eventful night, an eventful conversation.
An eventful week.
An eventful. It's just,
Oh, yeah,
it's
by
been
the way,
eventful.
I didn't mention this part. All of the stuff going on with like the Nuzlocke stuff and everything. I was doing this just like sitting in that kitchen at that house because I was like, I'm afraid to touch any of your stuff. So I just took a stool.
I have a 4-foot radius that I am allowed to move.
They had a stool in the kitchen, and I just plopped that down on the counter. I plugged in the laptop, and I sat in one spot. Nice. I was like, I can't break any of your stuff.
Wait,
right here.
So you were afraid of breaking stuff, but you were cool with sitting on their counter on a stool?
No. Well, like not on the counter. I sat on the stool and used the counter as a.
Well, the way you explained that, Zach, I pictured you put a stool on the counter, and then you climbed up on this stranger's counter, and then sat on the stool.
I had perfect.
Like
Lion King-esque vision of the house where I could just see everything the light touches is stuff I should not break. I can't.
Oh, yeah, that's priceless. That's a Fabergé egg. How the hell they got that?
There was literally a bowl that she pointed out that was like, sometimes the cat hangs out in here, and that's fine, but don't scare him out because if he drops it, this is like Swarovski crystal, and I don't want to have to replace it.
Oh,
and I was like, what kind of what sentence is that? What sentence did you just say to me?
I need to learn how to hover in order to walk around this house. Jeez, that's so funny. All right. Well, I guess on that note, what a better way to end it than that. And now we'll go get some ice cream.
Yes. Now we'll go get. After 20 episodes, we finally have a sign off. And then we all go get ice cream.
And then we'll all go get it. Oh, yep, that's our sign off now. I'm just gonna throw it to Liz. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to The Say Report with your hosts Dayle Decker and Zach Sarowik. Please follow the guys on Twitter and Facebook by searching for The Say Report, and you can always subscribe on your podcast channel so this is delivered straight to you and you can enjoy it every week. With apologies to your mother, we'll see you next time.